A real doctor, license, white coat, 8 years of medical school. Once told a patient who got bleach in his eye, and I'm quoting this directly.
Sounds like you will be fine. Take 2 aspirins and call me tomorrow.
Then handed him the number of poison control and hung up. Fast, at work, done talking. A robot asked the exact same question. Wrote back practically a Hallmark card with a medical license. Apologized, explained why he probably was not going to be blind, gave him 7 sentences of real advice, and wished him well. All with the sincerity of a machine that doesn't not actually have feelings. Guess which one patient prefer? Yep, the robot. Welcome, cloud dwellers, to the era where your chatbot has better bedside manners than the guy who spent 8 years in medical school and 15 minutes with you. Welcome to Behind the Digital Curtain, the podcast where technology speaks human. I am Dr. Sergio Sanchez, aka Dr. Qubit, your guide to understanding what's going on with artificial intelligence, digital dangers, how to navigate this crazy world of digital lies and scams that's seen straight out of science fiction movies. I will tell you how to protect yourself even if you don't like technology. And well, let's start with the show. Welcome to Behind the Digital Curtain. Hello. This is Behind the Digital Curtain, the podcast where an old medical doctor, that will be me, Dr. Qubit, explain technology to normal people without using words that only make sense in a Silicon Valley board meeting or a Zoom call full of people pretending they understand them. Today, we're talking about a study published in one of the most serious medical journals of the planet that is going to change how you look at your doctor and at your phone. And maybe we'll start making doctors think about how they treat the patients. The myth of the machine without a soul. We all grew up with the same movie playing in our heads. The Cold Machine, the Terminator, HAL 9000. Who will help you only if happens to serve his own agenda. Machines do not feel. Every science fiction movie told us. Well, in April 2023, JAMA, Internal Medicine, one of the most peer-reviewed, most serious, most nonsense medical journals that exist, published a study that broke half the internet. Researchers out of UC San Diego pulled 195 real questions asked by real patients on a public Reddit forum called r/AskDocs, a forum with close to 500,000 members, where verified, licensed physicians answer questions for free, like a neighborhood group chat, except the neighbors are doctors instead of your uncle forwarding chain mails. They fed those same 195 questions to a chatbot too, ChatGPT version 3.5, the late 2022 model, the one that was not even a year old yet. Then a panel of licensed healthcare professionals, pediatricians, geriatricians, internists, oncologists, infectious disease and preventive medicine specialists grade the responses without knowing which one came from a human and which one came from a robot. A blind taste test. But for diagnosis instead of barbecue sauce. The result, the panel preferred the chatbot's response 78.6% of the time. Almost 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 times. They picked the robot over the guy with a medical degree. That is worse than when you trust your fantasy football group chat more than your actual therapist, who you are paying, by the way. Artificial intelligence does not love you, but sometimes it fakes it better than your ex. Why you doctor text like he's charged by the word? Now, here's where most people get the wrong idea. They think the chatbot won because it's not more medicine than the doctor. Nope. The chatbot did not win on medical knowledge. It won on length and on tone. On average, the physician responses in that study ran 52 words. Only 52. That is shorter than the product description for a toaster on Amazon. The chatbot responses average 211 words, 4 times as long. That bleach in the eye example from the top of the show is real, straight out of the study. The actual doctor wrote something close to, "Sounds like that you will be fine," and pass along the poison control number. End of the response. Basically a professional ghosting with a medical license attached. The chatbot opened with an apology for the patient concern, gave 7 sentences on why he probably was not going to be blind, what symptoms to watch for, and closed by wishing him well. And here's the part that actually makes me angry. And here's the real villain of this episode. It's not the robot. During the pandemic, electronic patient messages to doctors went up 1.6-fold. Every single message had an average of 2.3 minutes of extra work in the electronic health record. Work that almost never gets paid and almost always get done after hours at night, while the doctor should be eating a burger with his family, and is instead answering Reddit questions for free. A doctor seeing patients back-to-back, 15-minute a visit, terrified that one wrong phrase could land him in a lawsuit. And on top of that, the answering hundreds of messages on his own time for $0 is not being called because he wants to be. He is surviving. The healthcare system turned empathic human beings into short answer machines, and then an actual machine show up and beat them in being nice. How real science actually works and why the headlines lied a little. When this study came out, headlines read like AI beat doctors, like it was a heavyweight title fight. Let us actually walk through how rigorous this methodology was and where its limits are. So next time you see a headline like that, you know how to read it between the lines. The researchers did not just grab random questions. They used 195 randomly selected, all from October 2022. Every single response, doctor and chatbot, was graded 3 separate times by 3 different professionals, anonymized and shuffled, so nobody could tell which was which. That is called blinded evaluation and is the gold standard for making sure the panel is not just favoring whichever one sounds more official. The difference was statistically massive, with a p-value under 0.001. In plain English, that means the odds this result happen by pure chance are less than 0.1%. This was not a fluke. But, and this but matters, this was not a randomized controlled trial. It was not a real-life appointment. Neither the doctor nor the robot had the patient's full medical history, and the doctors knew their answers was going to sit publicly on Reddit forever. So they probably wrote short and formal on purpose, the same way you write a work email knowing your boss might forward it to the whole company. This study does not prove artificial intelligence is a better doctor than a human being. It proves that in the art of sounding like it cares in writing, the robot beat the exhausted human. Those are two different things, and mixing them up is exactly the kind of mistakes that get people trusting a chatbot full diagnosis without checking anything else.
The 52-word blues. Well, I asked my doctor a question about the bleach that got in my eye. He said, sounds like you will be fine. Gave me poison control's number and a quick goodbye. 52 words, that's all I got. 52 words for my pain. He's got 30 patients waiting on him, and I'm just another message in his inbox again. Ain't his fault, no, it ain't his fault. The system squeezed him dry like a Sunday barbecue chicken. Now a chatbot's writing me love letters saying more than my own doctor ever said to me. 52 words, Lord, 52 words and a phone number for the road. 52 words, that's the whole dang song.
Tired of your doctor answering you like he is charged by the syllable? Introducing DocBot Deluxe Trust Edition, the app that tells you everything is going to be okay, whether or not it has the faintest idea if that is true. Side effects may include false confidence, an unhealthy emotional attachment to a server farm in Virginia, and in rare cases, trusting an algorithm's opinion more than your own mother's, which for some of you, honestly, might already be true. Legal disclaimer. Dr. Bob Deluxe Trust Edition is not a doctor, holds no medical license, has no hands, and legally does not exist as a recognized healthcare provider in any of the 50 states. If symptoms persist, please consult an actual human being with a diploma, preferably one who has slept more than 4 hours this week. Press click responsible. DocBot Deluxe Trust Edition for when the doctor is colder than an ice cube.
Watch out, because empathy can be acted to. Here's the real danger, and I want this to stick in your head. A chatbot can sound incredibly empathic, write 7 beautiful sentences, apologize, wish you well, and be completely wrong. Empathy in the writing is not a warranty the medical content is correct. Language models can hallucinate, meaning they invent information with a total confidence and perfect grammar. A tired doctor answering you in 52 Telegram-style words might be 100% correct. A chatbot writing you 211 gorgeous words might be handing it to you, with the nicest smile in the world, information that is flat out wrong. The study owns authors led by Dr. John Ayers of UC San Diego were crystal clear about this. This does not mean artificial intelligence is going to replace your physician. What they propose is a hybrid model where the chatbot drafts a response and an actual flesh and blood doctor review it, edit if it's needed, and sign off before it reaches you. It's like the new kid at the register at 7-Eleven handing you your change while the manager checks the drawer before you walk out. Except here, what is being checked is not $2 and change, is your health. And there is another issue almost nobody brings up. Those 195 questions people posted on Reddit about their eyes, their symptoms, their most private fears were public. Anyone can read them. Still today, with usernames attached, if you tell your most personal health problems to a public forum or just to any chatbot, that information can sit there, indexed, searchable forever. Next time you ask a chatbot about that weird mole, think about where that conversation actually lives. Sounding nice do not make it true, and yes, that applies to dating apps and politics too. What you should actually do with all of this. People assume this is a doctor and laboratories problem, something far away, something in a white coat. Nope, that is about you directly. because you have probably already asked a chatbot a health question this week. Come on, do not lie to me. The good news is you can use these tools in your favor without being naive. A chatbot is generally great for helping you understand confusing words from your doctor use, for prepping questions before an appointment, for organizing your symptoms into a clean list instead of walking in and blanking out. Like when a teacher calls on you and every fact you knew leaves your brain at once. What a chatbot should never do is diagnose you, prescribe you anything, or replace an actual licensed professional exam. And it should absolutely never receive your full name, your social security number, your address, or photos of lab results with your information visible. Treat a health chatbot the way you treat that guy at the backyard barbecue who gives extremely confident advice about everything. Useful for a starting point, but you are not signing anything based on what he says next to the grill.
I'm just a language model, ma'am. I don't got a heart of gold, but I write you 7 sentences warmer than a rush doctor's hello. I apologize before I answer. I wish you well before I'm through. But honey, don't you marry my advice. Take it to a real doctor, that's the truth. 'Cause I can sound just like your grandma, soft and sweet as sweet iced tea. But I hallucinate on Tuesdays, so double check whatever I told thee. I'm just a draft, not a diagnosis, a starting point and nothing more. So let a human doctor sign it before you walk right out that door.
Did your doctor see you for 3 minutes and it felt generous? Try the new 7-Eleven Express Diagnosis Counter right next to the Slurpee machine. Our associate, certified in first aid by a YouTube video he watched on his lunch break, will diagnose you in the time it takes to microwave a taquito. Side effects include anxiety, the sudden realization your insurance deductible is higher than your rent, and in rare cases, a strongly worded recommendation to just walk it off. Legal disclaimer. 7-Eleven Express Diagnosis Counter is not a substitute for real medical care, real health insurance, or the actual number for poison control, which, by the way, you should still call it if bleach get in your eye. Press click responsible. 7-Eleven Express Diagnosis Counter is when you have that break and wanna check what happened with your eye. Meanwhile, you're getting a hot dog.
Before you go, here's your homework for the week. It's called the 3-question protocol before you trust a health chatbot, and it's literally 3 steps. In our section, Do It Yourself, the 3 questions protocol. Step 1. Before you type a symptom into a chatbot, ask yourself, am I telling this thing something I will not tell a stranger at the bus stop? If the answer is yes, do not include your real identifying details. Step 2. When the chatbot answers, find at least one real medical source saying the same thing, like the CDC, the Mayo Clinic, the Cleveland Clinic, or your own private primary care doctor. If nobody else confirms it, do not treat it as a gospel. Step 3. At your next appointment, bring that answer written down or save it in your phone and ask your doctor directly. A chatbot told me this. Is this accurate? This turned the robot into your rough draft, not your final diagnosis. Exactly the way the study owns researchers proposed it should be used. Listener challenge before next episode. Next time you feel the urge to self-diagnose with a chatbot at 3 in the morning, instead, write your top 3 symptoms in a note on your phone or in a piece of paper and bring them to your doctor. Tell us on social media if that worked better than a midnight medical doom scroll. Well, that was all for the episode of today. If you like how we took this study apart with actual data and no hand waving, there is something doing the exact same thing except with cybercrime. His name is Dean Morrow, attorney, FBI InfraGard member, author of the book Moving Target, and host of the podcast Cybercrime Junkies. Go find him, go listen, and tell him Dr. Qubit says hello. This has been Behind the Digital Curtain. Do not trust anything just because it sounds nice, not even me. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you enjoy it, please share with someone you want to protect and help navigate this technological world. And if you have questions, anecdotes, or stories you would like to share, write me at behindthedigitalcurtainpodcast@gmail.com. I'll be waiting for you next week for another episode of Behind the Digital Curtain, the place where technology is spoken in human language. See you later.